Hey folks, it's Jeff, the liberal producer. They somehow keep on payroll. Just kidding, I don't get paid. Dropping in real quick before we get into it. What you're about to hear is a re-release, but not just any trip down memory lane. This episode with Megan Gehrs originally aired 5 years ago and still holds the record for most views on our YouTube channel. We're not messing with that sacred number, so no re-upload there, but we are bringing it back to the podcast feed where it belongs. If you want to see the original, you can go look at it on our YouTube channel. The link is in the show notes. And whether you're hearing Megan's story for the first time or for the 5th, it still hits hard. Addiction, near death, recovery, and straight up redemption. This one's got it all. So with that, let's take it back to season 1, episode 11. And as Chris says, let us pray.
Still in my prime, just know that I'm here.
What's up, guys? Pondoff's Anonymous, episode 11.
That's right.
You know why I remember that it's episode 11? 11 is my, lifelong family number. My old man was number 11. I was number 11, playing hockey. I have it fucking tattooed on my back. It's in Roman numerals, kind of an Italian thing, and then hockey sticks, and it was, so the number 11 is a special number.
Nice.
To CP. Little tidbits of information that nobody gives a fuck about. Well, it is special. We have an awesome guest today.
Yes.
Can we do the intro like one would do at a recovery group?
Absolutely.
So go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Megan. I'm an alcoholic.
Hi, Megan.
Hi, Megan.
That's how they do it.
I've never been.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so welcoming. And then you go around the room, and it's a welcoming thing, man. You're not alone. Megan, thanks for coming on.
No problem.
So I've known Megan, as long as I can remember, which is a kind of a pun,
Right.
because a lot of times we've spent together we don't remember. You see what I'm saying, there, Jeff?
Absolutely.
So Megan's from the town I grew up in. I think I first probably met you, maybe a previous relationship you were in, buddies and house parties.
Sure.
and bars, and I think maybe the last time I saw you I was sober. I might have just a couple more days than you do, but it was at a golf course for a golf tournament.
Yeah.
She just made a face.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, we're videoing today.
That's right. If this turns out, we're going to put this on YouTube.
I have a face for radio. That's what they say.
That's right.
So we're working on, so we've been getting kind of pushed to throw this on YouTube. Sorry for the diversion, but this is fucked up.
Yeah.
What's up?
We'll see how it turns out.
Yeah. My buddy
No
said the camera
promises.
adds 100 pounds.
Great.
It's not good for me.
You know him who said that. I should name drop, but so Megan agreed she was kind enough to come on and share her story. And I always say this, it's going to sound fucking redundant, but it is powerful. Like, I say that about everybody's story because that's what everybody's story is. It's fucking powerful. It's breaking down walls. It's breaking down stigmas. And I guess I'm still at awe at how much shit like this was not talked about.
Right.
5 years ago, 6 years ago, 10 years ago. This is a new phenomenon that people are starting to be okay with talking about it. And like anything, man, I mean, that it just provides hope and it shatters that fucking myth of loneliness, right?
Definitely.
So a couple weeks ago, I was asked to guest speak at a recovery group. There's some anonymity stuff that we got to be careful with. But if it were the recovery group would be, if it were called BB, it'd be two letters B before it. Was that cryptic?
Sure.
Yeah, that fucking sucked. Anyway, so I spoke there, and afterwards, I saw Megan there. The first time I've seen her in a couple months, and we got to talking afterwards, and just kind of hearing your story and where you were and where you've gotten to. Our audience has to hear it, and it just, I get goosebumps every time I meet someone, but especially a friend that has struggled with what her and I've struggled with, and has onward and upward, man, since we've gotten out of that fucking death grip. So I want Megan to share her story with us. I want her to tell us and tell you guys the before, the during, and then the after. So with that, Megan, you're our first YouTube guest. You look beautiful.
Thanks.
Your
I
hair.
didn't even know, so.
Did Jeff's wife do your hair?
No, but she does really good hair.
There we go. Good plug.
Her boss, I think, does your hair.
Oh, wow. Even
Danielle.
better.
Yeah, Fringe Salon.
That's right.
Gotta go.
French salon, Belleville. Is it
Swansea.
Swansea? Yeah.
I used to go
I
to a
should
French
know.
salon. Well,
Fringe.
French. Oh, sorry. And actually, the salon I'm talking about was Asian,
That's a saloon.
and it was in Sojay.
Yep.
Anyway,
They just got a new sign.
did they? What's it
It's the same name. It's just new sign.
to check it out?
Yeah.
Just for research, not going in.
Right. Of course.
Those girls could probably use this fucking podcast. So.
Definitely.
They probably could use a lot more than that.
Oh yeah, this church, the podcast.
Yeah.
God bless and let us pray. So without further ado, Megan, tell us first. You've already told us you're an alcoholic. Congratulations.
Yes.
How long have you been sober?
April 6, 2018 is my sobriety date.
It's coming up.
Coming up on 2 years, very fast.
What you've done in 2 years is fucking remarkable.
Mind-blowing. They tell you when you first get sober to write down everything that you imagine your life's going to be or things that you wish will happen in the next 4 months, 6 months, a year. I sold myself short by tenfold. I mean, it's just insane how quickly things start to unfold for you when you're not staying out for days at a time. And,
Amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, it is like a lot of times with especially in even like psychotropic medication, right? You got to be patient. It's not going to be instant results. You got to work at it. I mean, getting clean and sober, the results are fucking instantaneous. You start noticing shit.
Right.
And
that brain fog clears and it's like, whoa.
it's unbelievable, right? When I used to drive around sober, I was kind of a shitty driver, and people would fucking rip on me. I'm like, dude, I've only been doing this. I've only been driving sober for about a year.
Right.
Give me a fucking break.
100%.
So April 8th, that's right around the corner.
The 6th, 468. April
6th.
2018.
2018. Okay, April 6th. We got it down. We'll have to meet up for a club soda or something.
Absolutely.
So when did you start drinking?
So I remember kind of when I try to think back to my first drink, I always went to I went to Catholic schools my whole life. So we had pretty small groups.
Problem number
and,
one.
With the good old Catholic parents, there's always booze in the basement. I remember being in probably grade school, junior high, 7th grade, sneaking booze from, parents' basements. And it never really affected me like it affected everyone else. So I thought that they were just wusses. I didn't know. I mean, these girls are throwing up on themselves, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Fucking pussies.
Right. I don't get sick the next morning. Weird. Wonder what that's about. So yeah, that's the first time I remember just kind of drinking and, drinking through high school, and hanging with the guys was really my MO because I was up late drinking with the guys, and I thought that was normal. Like,
Right.
I'm just tough, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So.
Does alcoholism run in your family?
Yes, actually, both sides.
There you go.
So, yeah, both sides, like, immediate. So, yeah.
Buddy of mine that went to Catholic school from our town, it was 8th grade, maybe freshman year. His parents started padlocking the liquor cabinet.
Yeah.
But he figured out. I mean, and his parents would they'd come home, fucking shit faced drunk, and try to scold this kid for being shit faced drunk. It was perfect. It was perfect. But so through high school, partied and
Oh yeah. I was a cheerleader, so I always had to play catch up. So beer didn't work for me because that took too long, right?
Yep.
So I realized after that football game to catch up, I had to do the hard stuff, vodka.
They had a
gin.
4-hour start on you.
Right. No pre-gaming. What?
Right. So you go to the hard stuff.
Yeah.
That's and chase it with a beer, right? Mm-hmm. And then as outside of high school, you got in your 20s.
Right.
And started bar hopping in our
yeah.
in our hometown.
Sure. You could go to bars at age 18 in Belleville,
Yeah.
some
Right.
places. So, you start early at the bars. But, yeah, I mean,
They don't call it Bell Vegas for no
Right.
reason.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
absolutely.
we make fun of it, but it's
So true. And you go to college and people are like, oh, you're from Belleville. You drink a lot, I bet. It's
I'm
like,
telling you, that's a real fucking thing.
seriously, you go away to college and people know Bell Vegas. Oh, you're a drinker. It's
Wow.
like, man.
At U of I, our friends would come to Belleville for their spring breaks. They wouldn't go to Cancun or fucking
Yes.
somewhere in Mexico by the beach. They'd want to come to Belleville and
Sure.
get fucking wasted.
Party.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's crazy. And they would always come down for Mardi Gras, stay in Belleville, and nobody would sleep for 3 days.
Wow.
And they'd be doing a bunch of fucking blow and drinking their ass off, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I mean, I'm glad you said that because I remember. I mean, I could do a whole episode on, which maybe I will, my college days. But I got to kind of navigate through some ex-girlfriend stuff.
Yeah.
But
You'll have that.
yeah, we'll have a lot of that. Don't we all?
Yeah.
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 So you're doing what I'm doing in
Right.
Belleville, just drinking it every day that ends in Y.
Sure.
and getting up and still going to work.
Oh, yeah. And that was, I think a thing even today. Alcoholic, you joke, when you're in college, oh, I'm an alcoholic, okay, yeah.
Right.
We picture alcoholic like man under the bridge with a brown paper bag, like doesn't have a home and doesn't have a job. And I was, fully functioning until I wasn't. So, I had a job and going to school and doing what seemed like okay until, the nights turned into days, turned into nights, turned into days, because you just don't want to stop and deal with the coming down off of everything that has kept me drinking for days.
Right. And when
Nobody's got time for that.
I mean, the best cure to a hangover is to start fucking drinking.
Oh, yeah.
again.
Towards the end there, I never was a hungover.
Right.
Never.
There was always some booze in your system.
Always.
It was. I've said this a couple times. I had to go back. There was one 24-hour period from like age 21 to 30 that I did not have one drop of alcohol probably running through for that 24 hours. Mm-hmm. But other than that, no way.
Yeah.
When you're sick, you drink to feel better. I know a lot of people in recovery, it's like you got to change your friends, and I get that. And I understand that. I didn't have to so much as change my friends. I had to change myself. Like I knew getting sober for me what it was going to look like. It was going to look like me still hanging out with my friends and going to some bars in Belleville because that's how I grew up fucking socializing. And I could not turn into a hermit. For some people, they have to
Right.
for life and death reasons, and I'm all for that. I just knew that I had to change in here, not my setting, for the most part, because, that's how we grew up.
Right.
I mean, I grew up, like I said this before, at fucking Elks Lodges, Knights of Columbuses in Belleville. It was a Catholic town.
Sure.
You go to fish fries, and your parents are drinking, having a good time, and I got the gene on both sides as well. And then for me, it was I knew in college because my mood changed when I went like that 2 or 3 day period without having a drink. My mood completely fucking altered.
Right.
So, without revealing your age, you partied hard through your 20s, but
Sure.
still were able to work. How many relationships do you think you may have lost due to your alcoholism?
Oh, my, countless.
Not just like romantic shit,
Right.
but friendships.
You're right. I mean, you're just
Family.
you're unreliable, and like you said, when you're not drinking, you're irritable, you're restless, and you're discontent with everything, no matter what. And it's
Bingo.
never my fault, right?
Never.
My fault. You did this or you did that, or I don't need them anyway. And I think the tricky part is when I was losing in these friendships and relationships within my family and personal relationships, you don't notice because it's all about me and the next drink.
That's a good
and
point.
You really don't notice the severity of it until you get on the other side of it and you're like, ooh, I think that was my fault.
Mm-hmm.
That looking back and cleaning up your side of the street is scary sometimes. So
it's a self accountability, which for me, it started the day I checked into rehab, and I looked around and I was like, how the fuck did it get to this? Mm-hmm. I had a screaming match with Jesus, and then after that I was like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. Right. I want to be in control. Mm-hmm. And like, people think that's, I don't know if they think it's like too much of a responsibility, but what it yields is freedom.
Right.
When you take control of your life and you make your amends, as BB teaches, and I never worked the program that way. I did kind of a hybrid outpatient, I guess it was maybe an IOP. It was kind of an IOP, an intensive outpatient program, and I did the church thing, where I met this jackoff. You're a blessing in my life, Jeff.
Thank you.
But
I've been called worse than that.
Yes, by me.
Yeah.
It when you do take accountability and take back your life and understand, you come to peace that that's not who we were. It was our addiction, our alcoholism, but it was our fault, and we're sorry, and we're a different person now. And not everybody's gonna come back. It's not a magic fucking wand, right?
Right.
But from here on, this is on us now. Mm-hmm. And nobody can take our sobriety from us besides ourselves.
Right. And my friends that I have around now that have stuck with me, right before I got sober, and I can still go, like you said, still go to the bars with them. I'll still go to St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Right.
This year. But, I still do that stuff with them, and they love me more now, and they tell me all the time, not that I need a pat on the back because I don't do it for anyone but myself, but my friends, I have the best friends in the world, and they still are around me, and they're like, you're so much more fun now. And what's scary is I noticed that they don't drink like I drink. All of a sudden, it's like,
that's perfect.
Man,
I'm so
you
glad you
are
said that.
Drinking all that glass of wine? You're just going to leave half of it sitting there when we go to lunch? Like, what is wrong with you?
How do you know? That would never do. We would never leave a drop in our glass. Mm-mm. In fact, we'd finish it and ask for a road.
Right.
Let me get 100%. One to go. Right.
But they don't do that. It's just mind-blowing.
For the years that I drank at the tavern I drank at, I never drank out of anything but a plastic cup, right, because I was coming and going, baby. Like, if somebody called and I got to make a move, I need it
to go.
Take it for the ditch is what they call it.
Oh man.
That's a great point, and that's a hell of a revelation. Mm-hmm. I'm a real fucking wordsmith, aren't I? I can get all the swear words,
right?
Yeah.
And fluently, but
maybe in other languages even.
Yeah, right. 3 or 4 syllables, English, nope, tongue-tied. Right. So your 20s, you're partying. When did you first realize that this is getting out of control?
I think it's going to sound horrible. Like, I got DUIs.
No, tell them. That's what I want.
I mean, DUIs, that wasn't like a thing to me. Like, okay, I got a DUI. Here's some money, lawyer. Get me out of this. Here, and that's horrible because I literally could have killed someone or killed myself, sure, right? But multiple DUIs wasn't my big eye-opening experience. Even it was like, well, whatever. And then it was like, we're taking your license. It's like, oh, now I can drink more,
right,
because I won't have to drive anywhere. This is awesome. So that's really, my drinking accelerated after I lost my license, because it was, I was taking the metro over to St. Louis to work, drinking on the way there, 7 a.m.,
Wow, yeah.
Things of that nature. But I think when I really noticed was when I tried to stop myself and I couldn't. I was sick and tired of being sick and tired. I was miserable. I didn't want to die, but I didn't want to feel the way I was feeling. And I was like, I'm just going to quit. And I had the worst DTs I've ever had. I almost had a seizure. An ex-boyfriend, actually, had to take me to St. Elizabeth's. Like, I tried to stop and was like, just done. And my body was like, no,
it's
cute
dangerous,
girl. No,
Megan.
cute girl. You're going to die. Like, have a seat.
Yeah, that's fucking dangerous. Mm-hmm. That we've talked about. Jeff, you've learned that since we've done this. Like, you'll get sicker than a fucking dog if you try to self-withdraw on heroin, but it won't kill you. Alcohol will fucking kill you.
Right.
And then I've heard that you can die from benzos too, trying to cold turkey it. But you'll seize up, and that's crazy. So that was. Would you call that then your rock bottom, or
No.
All right.
That was just like a
So the DUIs weren't a rock bottom. That's what everybody's is so different, and that's why I'm not. It's your story, so go ahead. I was gonna say I think it's a God thing, like for me.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
So-
to open my fucking eyes.
Yeah.
Finally.
Right. And then I had just a slew of medical problems. Like after I detoxed from that medically.
How long?
I was in there, and patient St. Elizabeth's was around, I don't know, maybe a week.
I'm surprised they didn't kill you. St. Elizabeth has a fucking body count.
Right.
But I'm glad you survived that.
So got out, and then it was, well, I'll just drink beer, you know?
Yep.
I'll
Right.
just switch up my drink of choice. I just won't do a bunch of blow to keep me up all night. I'll just drink beer and not do shots, and, that only lasts for so long before you gain beer weight, and then you got to go back to vodka.
And vodka and water, right? Mm-hmm. When I would do, I had to do Coke, I had to be well into whiskey, because if I was drinking beer, I would be bloated, and I'd do a fucking rail, and usually I'd puke it right up. Just, and then I'd be high, and drunk.
Yes.
But that's why I liked, whiskey. There's something about, going to beer. Ashley, my wife, tells me that because she thinks I have a gambling problem, which is, we don't talk about that on this podcast. I'm fucking perfect. And I'll be like, well, I'm not gonna play football this year. I'm done making books. I'm done. I don't know if I should say that. I'm done breaking the law.
Yeah, right.
So I'm just gonna break the law by gambling. But I was saying that, I'm like, I'm just gonna do fantasy stuff. She's like, oh, so you're just gonna have a beer? Okay, I get it. You're gonna
Ooh,
yeah.
ouchie.
Right.
Ouchie.
She's fucking
Brutal.
ball breaker.
She's
man.
not supposed. Yeah.
Yeah. So I know that mentality. When I checked into rehab, I looked at the guy and I said, I'll stay here for a couple weeks, and then I want to get to where I'm just drinking Coronas around the pool.
Right.
That was before the coronavirus shit. I won't touch a Corona now. That was a joke. I don't know if anybody got it.
Well, you're officially a dad now.
That was a dad joke.
That was a
that
dad
was
joke.
A dad
Fuck. That's getting bad, boys. Point is, I did say that, and they all looked at me. My mom was with me, and she was like, kind of making a face at the guy that was checking me in, and they knew, they hear that, I think, all the time.
It's the delusion. You're just totally delusional. Delusional thinking.
Because I'm not in the door yet, right? I'm at the waiting room filling out paperwork. So they're like, we just need to get this fat fuck behind the door, and then we'll address that. But yeah, you go in there thinking I'm going to change the strength of the alcohol, but your body craves the amount you were drinking. Sure. It's a 6-pack of Natty Light's not going to cover a bottle of fucking Tito's or Smirnoff, whatever you were drinking out of your purse when last time I saw you.
Yeah. Good old water bottle.
So you got out of detox, and then you went back to just drinking beer
Until I got fat, and then I went back to drinking vodka, and then so I got married my
I wanted to get there.
My best drinking buddy is who I married.
Megan, I need to stop you. He's a lot of people's best
He
drinking
still is
buddy.
a lot of people's best drinking buddy. He was he is,
If I would have married my best drinking buddy, me and Screech would be hitched.
Oh Lord. But yeah, so
that would be toxic, man.
That would be its own podcast.
Yeah, that's right. It would be. We should do that sometime. To have a little NASCAR podcast.
Yeah.
So before you get too far into that relationship, when did you guys get married?
A couple of years ago.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot.
3 years ago. It'll be 3 years this year. 3 years.
He has a get out of jail free card now if he misses an anniversary or something.
Right. He said that one time.
Right. So the point I'm trying to make is, you married him before you got sober.
Oh yeah.
Which is actually an incredible story in itself.
Oh yeah.
And we'll get there. So you got married 3 years ago. Your best drinking buddy.
Oh yeah. Life of the party.
He absolutely. We'll have to maybe get him on one day.
Oh boy.
I don't know if that's
He
a good
listens.
idea. Great. Does he? I'm talking about you. You can say his name. I'm not.
Yeah.
gonna.
Grump. Philip.
Yeah, it's Grump. We call him Grump.
Everyone calls him
Can I
Grump.
tell you a story about Grump?
Yeah, I would love to hear a story about
It's going to
Grump.
get me in trouble. I guess at some point, me and Screech were living together over on like the East End over by Mojack's. That was like our home.
Oh, yeah.
Our last stop. So in that area, and I woke up one morning and was leaving, and there was a car parked in my fucking driveway, and the driver's side window was a black trash bag, and this car was beat to shit, man. And I'm like, who the fuck is driving that? Because nobody was there when I went to bed.
Right.
I mean, I went to bed at 2, and nobody
That's
was at
early
my
for him,
house.
right.
Apparently, he showed up drinking with my roommate or something, driving this fucking car around town with a trash bag hanging out as a driver's side window. It was perfect. I think I have pictures.
That's awesome.
We'll maybe share those on the Facebook page.
Yes.
At Pondoff's Anonymous.
Yeah.
Sorry, Grump. So you guys got hitched.
Right.
Congratulations. Great
Thanks.
guy.
Yeah.
Good family.
Very good family. Yes, I
Praying
got
for
lucky.
that family.
I got very lucky.
Yeah. Well, so did he.
Yeah.
You're a fun chick. Can I call you that?
Yeah.
That's a little not. That's not very woke.
I think it's up to the individual.
Okay, fair. So she said yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can call her a broad.
That's fine too.
My mom would get mad.
There's some people who don't care.
Yeah. I've been called
My
a lot
mother,
worse.
she cares.
Yeah.
Megan,
Yes.
you guys got married 3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then, just, I'm no math major, but you lived a year together, married,
Mm-hmm.
before you got sober.
Right. And within that year, it was probably real close to our wedding day. I noticed like I could not feel the lower part of my body, which sounds just crazy,
Wow.
but I couldn't feel my feet. I was falling everywhere all the time.
At the wedding?
Oh, it was bad. Yeah. This is like planning my wedding, like doing things. Well, my mother-in-law and my mom did plan my wedding, let's be honest, because I could have cared less. But, just always had my vodka bottle. It was, nonstop. And I just could not feel my feet. Like, could not wear flip-flops because I couldn't feel them. I'd walk right out of them.
Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. So on my honeymoon, I was like, I can't walk. So I literally laid under a cabana and I remember maybe a combined 6 hours of my entire honeymoon.
Where'd you guys go, can I ask?
Mexico,
And you just laid in a cabana and got fucking hammered.
every day, all day.
Sounds like, back in the day, it sounds like a
He was out meeting people
Oh, yeah.
on the resort partying. I met these people. He had a great time.
I
So-
bet-
Is this an all-inclusive place?
yeah, yeah.
I would
Were you
put-
drinking mixed drinks? Because you would have
Oh,
had
yeah.
to drink a lot to get drunk on
this
those
was like
drinks.
a pretty high-end.
Okay.
My owner of a company I work for actually gave it to me for our honeymoon or for our wedding present, so
That's
it was
awesome.
pretty legit.
I was going to say the pina coladas I was drinking,
They
I
weren't-
think they were a virgin.
Right. Yeah, no, this is a pretty high-end place. So.
That's so you obviously used that gift to the max.
Oh yeah,
Both of you. Mm-hmm. He probably remembers about 6 hours of that
Maybe.
whole week as well. So you get home from your honeymoon?
and I'm like, I can't get out of bed.
So it was, this sounds like a medical fucking
Oh,
issue.
absolutely. So I go to the hospital. They rush me over to all these different, trying to figure out what's wrong with me. And it turns out I had alcoholic neuropathy.
Holy shit.
Didn't even know it was a thing.
Me neither.
And I'm not diabetic. Young at this
Wasn't
point.
pancreas shit?
No.
Because that's a big one.
Mm-hmm.
Pancreatitis for people that sometimes they don't quit on their own. The pancreatitis makes them quit, but then some people keep drinking with it, and it ends up killing them. It's fucking brutal. But
So I had to learn to walk again, physical
Are you
therapy.
fucking
Oh,
serious?
yeah. I had a shower chair, couldn't shower, couldn't go to the bathroom by myself. And they talk about incomprehensible demoralization. I was literally shitting myself in the hospital, pissing myself because I couldn't get up unless someone got me up.
oh my god!
So it was ugh.
Holy fuck!
I still drank after that.
Yeah, Megan.
Oh, yeah.
This is what I mean.
Yeah. My poor parents, man.
I bet you're. Yeah.
So we just get married. I'm in the hospital, can't walk. Where's your newlywed wife?
So you get diagnosed with alcoholic neuropathy.
Mm-hmm.
You get finally discharged, and you're walking,
With a walk. First, I was discharged in a wheelchair, then a walker.
and you're still drinking.
At this point, I was not yet,
Okay.
but very soon after.
All right. Man.
It's
The
disease.
fucking, I was just gonna say the fucking disease. and the grip it has on people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't even know where to go from there, but you keep drinking.
Yeah, I'm hiding it. I'm a big bathroom drinker. Like, my bathroom's like my little spot no one goes in. I got like handles under the, the sink. I'm
Like
going
on
to quit on still, my delusion, my alcoholism, my disease is telling me it's not that bad. It's okay.
Fucking paralyzed almost, and it's not that bad.
And I'm all about freedom, and I take care of myself. I have a
Stubborn.
job. I have this, but I don't, because the drink was telling me what to do. Alcohol's telling me when to get up, when to go to sleep, when to eat if I'm going to eat.
Right?
It's controlling everything.
That's crazy to think about.
Wow, yeah.
It was controlling your whole fucking life.
Everything.
So what happened?
So I'm working. I always have my bottle with me, my water bottle. So I'm drinking literally all day, every day. I started getting real swollen and yellow.
Uh-oh.
Eyes yellow, skin yellow. I look like Fiona off fucking Shrek. Like, literally Fiona off Shrek.
It's awful, but I did laugh, but it's awful.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like, my eyes were yellow. And
See, I didn't see you at all during this.
Right. I was pretty sick.
Yeah.
And
I
I'm
mean-
going to work, going home, going to work, going home.
Drinking.
Drinking. Everybody's begging me, you gotta go to the hospital. Nah.
Not me. I'm Superman, right?
Nah, I'm good.
Superwoman. Yeah.
I'm good. So finally went to the hospital and they said, you need a liver, kid. You're probably not going to get one. So my poor husband sitting there and just loses it. He's like, she's going to die, the whole nine. They're like, you are too far gone. I had hepatitis,
Oh, shit.
liver shot, kidneys shot, esophagus shot. Like, I literally had burned my insides up.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I still was, and the sick part of this disease, man, it's just so sick. Like, I took myself to the hospital that day, but I made sure in my purse I had 2 water bottles of vodka, because I didn't know when they would get me to a detox unit, and I didn't want to be sick. So the whole time I'm in the hospital, I'm still
You
sipping.
tried that before.
Yeah, I'm still sipping these water bottles in my purse in the hospital, in the emergency room. Like, still not enough. So they take me over to St. Louis to SLU, good doctor, and I felt that detox. I didn't want anything. They monitored my heart and everything, but my dad was the one that really.
I'm fucking shaking, man.
He was sitting, and I'd heard it all. We hear it all, like, I'm done with you. We're not doing this again. We're not. And my dad was sitting in a chair across the hospital bed from me, and I woke up out of, one of my many tests they were doing, shoving stuff down my throat, trying to figure out what they could do. And he said, hey, I'm not doing this again. I won't be here. I can't. You're killing me. You're killing your mother. I cannot do this with you again. And I knew he was serious. And I've been really lucky. My parents have, stuck by me. My dad, the stuff I put them through, fighting in the front yard and calling late from bars, calling from jail, all this stuff. And he had had enough. And he's like, I'm not going to bury a kid. Like, no.
It's not how it's supposed to go.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy, man. Yeah. How long were you in the hospital?
That time, I actually had a pretty quick turnaround. They didn't, because I refused the stuff they'd given me the time before, which is heavy stuff, like heavy sedatives and things of that nature. So I had they were giving me a mild stuff some people use for anxiety. And that was keeping my heart rate and everything at bay. So I felt that detox, man. Whew. And then I got out, and because I had got my mobility back. I'm like, if I lay in this hospital bed, man, I'm going to lose it again. Yeah. So I was probably only in there for a couple weeks, but
Only in there for a couple weeks.
Right.
And there,
listen to you.
Shots in the stomach, and the craziest stuff that I've ever, seen. But I had a really strict diet. I had to try to save my liver. Man, I had to try to.
Are your eyes opening now? Like, as we're talking at live time here?
Yeah.
So you.
I'm starting to think I don't think I want to die. And I had it for, like a month. I'm thinking like, I got this, I got this, I got this.
This was after the diagnosis of your liver's fucked.
I'm doing good and everybody's so proud of me. And I'm like, nah, I don't think I got this on my own. Because every time before, this disease has told me, like, you can do this. I've tried everything to quit drinking, everything, and I could not do it. And it didn't matter how long I went without drinking. It's like, as soon as I had one sip, my brain was like, I know what we're doing now. Let's go. Let's go. It reopened that scab in my brain, the scar in my brain, whatever, that feel-good sensor that was like, okay.
Got back in the driver's seat.
Right. So I was like, I got to get somewhere, get some help with this.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Fucking A right, man. So what did you do?
I tried a recovery program. I just went and took suggestions for the first time in my life. I'd heard people getting sober, quitting drugs, quitting drinking. I know that, they talk about there's solutions out there. You see that if you're addicted, call. I knew there was solutions. I just didn't think it was for me.
Nope.
That's not for me. Come on, man. I'm the popular kid. I'm the kid that people like to party with. I'm a manager at work. That's not for me.
Did you ever think, like, what if I stop drinking? What are these people going to do? Like,
Right.
they're not gonna be able to have fun without me.
What now?
I used to think that.
I have a full calendar. I can't just
Right.
stop drinking today. Maybe next
You got a
month.
happy hour, and every day that you need to go meet somebody
Absolutely.
because your friends start calling you because they know that you'll meet them for a drink,
Absolutely.
and you
Story
end up
of my
becoming a
life.
fucking counselor until they end up as yours,
Right.
and it switches at some point. Yeah, I was that guy.
Yeah, you're always there, right? I'm having a bad day at work.
Right.
Who can I call to have a drink? Oh, Megan. Oh,
Right.
Pondoff. I know.
Uh-huh.
We'll call them.
He's at Fridays. We know where he's at.
Right.
Yeah. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So that's when. Do you know the day that you handed your life over, if you'll say it, to the program?
Well, I went there and, I started taking suggestions and they talk about higher power and they talk about God. And I was like, okay, I went to Catholic school my whole life. Like, I got the God thing down. And they're
Yeah, ruler marks to prove it.
Yeah, I got the God thing down. I got it.
Yeah.
And I think it
Jesus is like shit.
was right. Who are you?
Right.
That foxhole prayer, I didn't hear that. Please just don't let me get pulled over, I swear.
Mm-hmm.
And it really wasn't in that time, probably in the first month or two, they suggest certain things. And I can honestly say, like, I had a spiritual awakening, 100%. Nothing like what I was taught in school. Sorry, Mom and Dad, I know you spent a lot of money on
I'm sure
that.
they did.
Okay. I mean, nothing like anything I can ever explain.
I get it.
It's just
Jeff gets it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's crazy, and it's like, like I've heard you say, like, I'm not like a Jesus freak Bible thumper, but like my will is not mine anymore, and I'm so thankful for that.
Right.
Like, thank you.
Man, we fucking need help.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, here's my I can give my will over to
Right. Why don't people jump on fucking board with
sign me
this?
up. Sign me up.
I mean, it's when I fucking handed shit over to God. I mean, I was metaphorically 250 fucking pounds lighter,
Oh.
and just I felt the most biggest sense of peace. Congratulations on that. That's what a fucking testimony to really, Megan, to you, and also to God. I mean, to go through all of that shit,
Right.
and then he stayed with you, and it's like, and
Sure.
finally, I mean, I sent you a couple fucking DUIs to maybe
Right.
wake you
I
ass
sent a
up.
boat.
Right. Yeah. Right. So since you started the program, since you got sober April 6th, was that the last day you drank?
Yep.
Okay. So was that in the hospital?
Well, yeah. So that
Okay.
was, the hospital started.
Yeah,
My hospital.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And the powerful part of this story is even after that, the fucking disease was still making your mouth water.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And that spiritual awakening, which you probably had in the program, but maybe we don't know it, but for you to recognize that you could not do this by yourself.
Right. That was him.
That might have been it.
Yeah.
I think that's the day. That's the moment, the aha moment,
Right.
right? So what's so fucking amazing about this story? Can we ask about an update on your health?
Oh yeah, so my liver function went back. Like my bilirubin, I don't know, this is like a weird thing. Like when babies are born jaundiced, it's because their bilirubin's high.
The yellow
Mine
baby.
was like at like 30, and it's supposed to be like at a 0.02 or something
Oh,
crazy.
shit.
Yeah, like I was that close to not being here. But so I got that down, and I got released from all my specialists and stuff.
Wow,
and,
congratulations.
Yeah, I still have neuropathy. Like I'll always have it, because your nerves only repair a certain millimeter or whatever. But I can walk today, and
So that those symptoms are like mobile, like
yeah,
sometimes.
but it's a
loose
reminder.
feeling. Yeah, absolutely.
You know, so
It's a good one to. So that I mean, that sounds like a fucking medical miracle, man.
right, it
That-
was. Well, he kept me alive for a reason, is what I kept saying.
So, and I feel the same way. That, and I've shared that with people that I've been helping on in the past 6 years, and since I've stopped, almost 6, and that's a real thing, man. Because Megan hasn't squandered this fucking second chance. I always say with God, you get unlimited second chances, at least until you're with Him, right? Mm-hmm. I don't want to squander this one, and I have a, you know, I hate saying the word calling because I think it turns people off, but you know, fuck off. It is a calling. It's what
Right.
that we've said this before. It's something inside of us that like it's grace maybe that you just want to give because you know the fucking power of the feeling,
Sure.
and you want to help people. And now Megan is helping all kinds of people, and I want to definitely talk about that. Well, first off, thanks for sharing that story. It was incredibly vulnerable and fucking personal. We got to trash your husband a little bit, which
Yeah.
I always look forward to.
Sure, me too.
And that makes this whole show worth it. So give him an attaboy for me. And then through the medical stuff that I wasn't even aware of.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big fucking eye-opener for people that are listening on how bad this can get. And you think you got it, but you don't got it.
Nope.
And trust us so you don't have to be in a hospital bed listening to your mom or dad telling you they're fucking done and being for real about it. That's a scary reality, man. So with that, tell us a little bit about what you're doing now, because that's what's saving fucking lives.
Right. So my big thing that I really try to focus on is like attraction instead of promotion, because when people came to me and were like, hey, this is an AABB CD, you know, I was like, go fuck yourself. I'm throwing it away. Like my uncles sent me stuff. Like I totally, anytime someone tried to tell me something, it was like, no.
Nobody wants to be told what to do.
No. So I just was around and was seen, and I didn't preach at people, but people would be like, man, you seem so much better. Or, man, you seem, you know. And even on days when I wanted to like kick the cat, I just made sure that like my presence was positive, and, you know, life shows up. Life's going to happen.
Absolutely.
And, you know, there's going to be times when I'm like, man, my brain tells me like, I know what'll make us feel better. Let's have a drink. But I just try to stay, you know, the face and stay the course. And, you know, like the God thing, like I can't go up to a female, or a female can't come up to me and say, how do you do it? And me say, let me tell you about God. But, you know, what I can do is say, let me tell you about the time that I was up for 3 days and woke up in some strange man's bed, and I didn't know where my clothes were, and I didn't know where and then all of a sudden,
They're fucking engaged.
they're
now.
like, okay, now what? Oh, you've done that too? Okay. And that's what I do. I just kind of share my story and listen to theirs, and I'm there if they need me. And I just try to let people know that there's a solution out there, and, you know, grace, unwarranted favor is available, and you tap in and just have a little bit of willingness, and that's what I do. And it's the young people. It's the young people, because it's
They're
getting
getting younger and younger.
and
You're
younger.
just going to say that, yeah.
And it's so I just show people like we can have fun in sobriety. We have conferences, we have dances. There's things you can do in sobriety that are just as fun as they were when I was out there, and I remember them
agree.
now.
I absolutely agree with that.
You know.
And I want to do a whole episode on this on my like Stanley Cup experience.
Yeah.
I was the only sober one in any of these festivities, and it was I've been waiting for this my whole life,
Right.
and like I remember every fucking feeling, every bit of anxiety I had when the game was on the line. I mean, and it was I had more fun doing that than I would have ever had, all fucked up, barely remembering shit.
Right.
You're helping a lot of young people. I know there's some, like I said, some guidelines on what we can say and what we can't say, and for me, I think that's, it's just, to me, it's a little counterproductive, but I want to respect. I'm not going to change bylaws that have been fucking written for 100 years or however long. Like, I want to shatter the myth that people aren't alone. So if you have any questions on programs, or especially if you know someone, or if it's you and you got the courage and, you can completely stay anonymous with me by reaching out. We've talked about that before, but I'm sure you can reach out to Megan as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll post an email address or a way to get a hold of you on Facebook on our on the show notes, and when we release this episode on Monday. But I want to you're going around to, or there is a local treatment center that you do some work at.
Sure.
All volunteer, right?
Right. So it's
Fucking insane.
I don't consider it volunteer. I really consider it like service because it helps me just as much as it helps them, or hopefully it helps them. And I just, share my experience, strength, and hope. Like all I can do is tell you what I went through and what I did and what has worked for me. And, I have people that go in with me. And when people are stuck in these inpatient rehab and they're listening to the counselors over and over, it's nice to hear a like-minded person. Like, I'm no different than you.
Right.
I'm no different than you. So I just go in and share my experience, strength, and hope, and let them know that there's, grace, and find me when you get out of here. And that's what we tell them, So they see someone like-minded. Like a counselor can tell you, I learned this in school, but I can tell you, like, no, I went through that shit.
Right.
So let me share with you what a physician friend said to me, and this applies to you. He told me he's a fucking doctor, right? And mental health. And he said, I was telling him kind of what we're doing on the podcast, and he's like, let me tell you something. People like you will be listened to 100 times more than a fucking doctor.
Sure.
Because you've been there, you were in the weeds, you can empathize, and people need people like you, Megan, and us to shatter this shit, because we aren't like other people. But we pray for the serenity, right, to accept that other people can go out and have some drinks or leave a fucking half glass of wine and walk away from it, which is still fucking crazy. I do that all the time. I'm like, what are you doing? I hate porn. Like, Ashley will have dinner, and I'm like, you're not going to finish this?
Right.
Like, it's fucking
if I'm
crazy.
opening this bottle, it better be gone.
Right. Every drop. You got to remember the spider?
Oh, spider.
You know what the spider is?
Crawling around looking for spiders in bottles.
Even at the tavern, they finish a fifth, make a last drink, they'll lay the bottle down, and who wants the spider? Because there's always about a quarter of a shot left in that bitch.
Gotcha.
And you know who the drunks are. I'll take it. It's vodka. You're drinking whiskey and diet.
Don't
That's
matter.
all right. Throw it in there.
Mix it in there. Right.
So and we have to accept that that's not us. We can't do that anymore, or we probably shouldn't have been doing it in the first place. But that's just not us. And two things you mentioned that are real important I want to drive home here is you mentioned that life happens. And the serenity, what that means is that serenity is not the freedom, like it's not the freedom of storms, right?
Yeah.
It's the peace within.
Right.
And that is something that I think people like Megan and I live and die by.
Oh, absolutely.
So when life happens, we cling to that. I got it on my keychain. And I always tell people when we get through the storm, or at home, I also say hills and valleys, right? The sun rises again, and nothing is as bad as it was on when we were using and drinking. Nothing. And that's super important. And I know you and your groups, I mean, I think probably every time you all get together, it's a serenity prayer and
Absolutely.
reminder. And it's powerful, and it's community. And what Pondoff's Anonymous is kind of a hybrid of that. Like I kind of want to take, and I so believe in the program. I believe in all the programs. Anybody that's trying to help people, God fucking bless.
Absolutely.
I want to be a little louder in our voice to people because I'm not bound by, and I understand people can reach out and we're all anonymous, right? Like that shit's, between us and me and whoever, but I want to yell from a fucking mountaintop that we're here, we feel you, we can offer help, and that's what this podcast is. And it's what this brings me to my second point, where I know it sounds a little bit against what Megan was saying, but I want to explain how it's not. And Megan said, and I love this, after I heard her say it the first time, I had told her to text it to me, and I got a screenshot of it. It's attraction rather than promotion. So that we're not out beating our chest promoting. We are trying to attract. And you don't realize how fucking common this shit is, and how many people are affected by it. And it's not just the person. It's Megan's parents. It's Megan's husband.
Right.
It's Megan's family. It's Megan's best friends. It is a disease of not just the addict. It's a disease of the entire family. And that family doesn't just mean blood and immediate family. It means everybody that loves the addict is affected. Their days are hijacked. Their stress level, their anxiety level is all directly impacted
100%.
by the disease. So, and it's fucking common. So there's no, any family that you walk into is affected by it somehow. I would put my fucking money on it.
Oh, absolutely.
So what she means by attraction rather than promotion, it's in layman's terms, can you sell it? It's a sell tactic. Can you sell sobriety? We all know the numbers. We know the where the treatment centers are. We know who to call, but those are in our face.
Right.
It takes what Megan said to get down to someone's level, metaphorically or literally hold their fucking hand and share your story to open up that door. And that's what she means by that. And we're not like the Jehovah's Witnesses banging on the fucking doors, or people like trying to shove shit down people's throats. That's all that's going to do is drive people to fucking dig their heels in.
Right.
So for those of you that are in Megan and I's shoes, that's a good way to start when it comes to getting people to kind of open their eyes and hopefully not let it get as bad as it got for you, because that's as life and death as it gets.
Absolutely.
And I don't know if life is worth living if your family turns you. It has to, but they have to, otherwise they're enabling the fucking behavior.
Right.
Megan, thanks a lot.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
This is I don't know, man. This was, when you're telling that story, I started getting fucked up a little bit on that. It's crazy shit, and it's gonna resonate with everybody. A lot of the people that listen. I went to the program the first time, and I just want to share this as we kind of close, because there's something fucking, we know what it is, that's so spiritual about it. And we don't hide from that shit here on this podcast. The first time I went, I met a elderly woman in a core group, what we call at our church. It's like you get together once a week. It was my accountability, these people that prayed for me. So I was like, I got this, but I had a fucking pamphlet of where every potential meeting was in my briefcase, in my car, because I knew if it got that, I was going to run there. But things were going good, and I met this elder. She's going to be pissed I said elderly, but She's older than me. She has grandchildren, a beautiful family, but I met her and her husband. And we spent a year together in this group and became lifelong friends. They were also in recovery. And she came back a surrogate grandmother. I was out of grandparents by this time, and she's the one that actually introduced me to my wife, which is a fucking God thing. Just so crazy. It was a part of our wedding. So after that first year, her husband got real sick real quick and ended up passing away to cancer. And about 2 months after he passed away, was coming up to his 30-year chip. Mm. So she called me and she was like, I know you haven't been. Because I was kind of scared to go. I was doing okay with this church group. I knew these people. They were praying for me. I was a little scared to go in by myself. And I'd never been invited. So she invited me to go in his place with her to receive his 30-year chip. And I went, and it was like the most fucking beautiful thing I've ever done in my life. And the people in there, I don't know if it's like a metaphorical Xanax, because I know I got a home, mm-hmm. people that will care for you, that will help you, that will empathize with you, that will be on your level.
Love you until you can love yourself.
There you go. Mm-hmm. There you go. And to the day I die, I will never, ever forget that moment. And God bless her. And she's the one responsible for me being fucking hooked to this, social working liberal. So it's crazy, man. Megan, thanks again.
Thank you.
Come back?
Absolutely.
All right. And then we'll keep on keeping on, everyone. We'll see you next time. Let us pray.
If you're struggling or know someone that is, please have them check out our podcast and reach out to Chris or me. We want to listen, and we're super eager to help. Pondoff's Anonymous is Chris Pondoff and produced by me, Jeff Allen. Our music is Anti-Hero by McCall and Gentle Waters by Wild Wonder. For more information, visit pondoffsanonymous.com. Find us on Facebook and Instagram.